Recently I finished watching Metalocalypse, and I gotta say, it's a funny show. The bits I enjoyed most of it are not the music parts, even though I definitely look like I would, but instead the tribunal scenes in every episode. I mean, consider this. There is an assembly of military, political, and spiritual leaders, all gathered and funded in secret for the sole purpose of observing a death metal band. Granted, said band is one of the most important economic factors of the world, by being bigger than the Beatles, plus Oasis, and also something apocalypse of metal and their involvement in that supposed prophecy. But then you look at the subject they are dedicated to studying, and you remember that it's 5 dudes who are naive, undereducated, egotistical, rude, and inebriated most of the time. They are more a threat to themselves first, and to society second, and cannot do anything basic that doesn't involve playing their music. From grocery shopping to booking gigs, they require constant babysitting from their manager and manifold of hired goons, lest they somehow end up dead of their own incompetence. So overall, the tribunal is the funniest part to me because they take this bungling brothers breakneck and brain-dead circus under the desperate direction of ringleader Oftensen so seriously, when everything they do is spontaneous hijinks, resulting in accidental maimings and coincidental chaos regardless of their intervention. And now you're probably wondering, what do my Adult Swim cartoon habits have to do with this community that I make videos about? Imagine a tribunal just like this, all people who perceive themselves to be in positions of power, gathered together in one secret assembly, simply to observe and debate about how to maintain order in this swarm of spastics and other such speds. Personally, I don't know how long it's been around for, but looking back I feel like it's a recent development. So, what is it? Is it supposed to be secret? Hell if I know, but I guess somewhat. And then again, people in this community suck at keeping secrets, even if they think they're a master of covert ops or undercover trolling. I might get back on that later. Well, if they're so secret, Mr. Joshi, sir, how come you know about them, huh? Hate to toot my own horn, but apparently I'm important enough of an antagonist to have gotten into their sights at least once. There's a video from 2 or 3 years back I never finished, but still have the script kicking about, detailing a lot of history between the cult of Solik and their raid on TTV, one child groomer who tried to make the cult their little personal army for raids and their subsequent failure, and turn against the cult, Red Star Games, lots of fear-mongering against further raids, and LJ and Swirt. That's a lot of shit. It was a 40-fucking-minute recording. Never finished it.
This is some good drama.
Now that one person who had been trying to flirt with 12 to 15-year-olds, some of whom defected from the cult for that person, was devastated by having that info leaked to the cult, as well as their attempt to dox a member with the aid of Lahari, the wannabe Navy SEAL, which I laid bare when I think I was just asked about it from what I remember. And now that poor victim of bullying, of course, reached out to the community in a desperate attempt to cover their own ass by claiming they literally couldn't and tried to kill themselves because of all the Solekian harassment. Which didn't happen because months before already it was decided to no longer talk about or to that person because, honestly, why should we? Still, there was one man who saw it to be his duty to once and for all remove the danger that is me and my Avtheist brethren from the vast plains of this fandom. That man was the resident comic book guy, Swirt himself. The first people I was told about rallying against me were him and, of course, the man who'd pay to see Solekian blood, he who cannot forget being wronged, a salt pillar of the community, LJ. Together, they concluded that it would be for the best of the community if I were locked out. And thus I was banned from r/Bionicle Lego's Discord server, and that was it. Good riddance? I was surprised to hear that server owner Ginkgo actually put up a fight arguing against my removal until eventually cracking under the pressure. So, who else is there? Apparently, anyone LJ and Swirt designated a community leader, including themselves, of course. Swirt's physique seems to be far less bloated than his ego somehow. I guess we also have Ginkgo, head honcho of the subreddit, and A's of /biog on /toy. Apparently my favorite slut Liam is also part of it, and I guess Lehari, seeing how ever so vital RSG is, even though there's hardly any vital signs of it. I'm not sure who else would be involved there, but I'll rule out Google+, since that is dead and was full of the lowest of the low stuck at the mental age of 12, and does anyone even want to associate with mask posting on Facebook? Let's say maybe. They're all gatekeepers, and personally, I think you should put the gate where mask posting can't get through. Maybe past a moat of lava and antimatter, and the concept of death itself, distilled into a thick, viscous concentrate. But these are only the people that I know about. And what I said here is all that I know. There's a bunch of delusional people who assemble other people who just happen to run a forum or a site and claim that they have the ability to control and moderate an entire fandom. Mind you, a fandom is never a coherent mass, but just splotches of people, who sometimes form larger splotches. But it's hardly ever a controllable community, no matter how many people you think have influence you gather in one place. These people, against their self-perception, don't have the ability to unperson a fan or have them shut out from the community entirely, no matter how bad they wish they could. And the attempts to coordinate together will only fall flat because being so secretive, nothing will likely leave the circle to begin with. It's pathetic of people like LJ to believe that they are like a grand assembly that dictates where the fandom goes when really, they will never stop running around like headless chickens. But if you think that's funny, a wannabe Bionicle shadow government. Here's another joke for you. The world's worst covert ops, right here in the Bionicle community. One young man with photographer aspirations is always present wherever in the fandom you go, and likely holds a mod position or something of the sort. A sociopath at heart, he has hardly any empathy to show, let alone the ability to find a girlfriend he could cherish. And he thinks he's sneaky, as if he wouldn't give away at least 3 of his 11th alt accounts' names as soon as he thinks you're a friend of his. What he does is go into servers, get into conversations with people and screenshot the hell out of them, apparently sometimes recording voice chats, only to dump them on others and expect they laugh when really it's all pathetic, seeing how he can't even build a simple mock without help from the people he will then tattle on to others. For what reasons? I don't know, perhaps he wants to join the CIA one day. They do the same bullshit of infiltrating stuff for no reason and then hilariously botching everything under the guise of counterintelligence. I don't know what kind of connections he has, but he'd probably be less successful than that one time Lehari tried doxing that guy to use his Navy connections on. And I don't know anymore what's wrong with this community, but I think these people are just too high on their own farts to come back down to earth and realize these are buildable action figures which had books about them. Released 20 and 5 years ago, cancelled twice, with a fragmented fandom spread across different circles of friends and platforms, where the head writer of the thing, post-2003, is shunned and hated. One of the people behind the idea has gone completely schizophrenic, and another has a cancer in his ass that nearly killed him, which is a perfect metaphor for this fandom, come to think of it.